All right, let's talk about comping a little bit, specifically through autumn leaves. But before we dig in, I just wanted to say a couple of things. If you're leading toward building a chord melody on a tune, like a solo in guitar interpretation of a tune like Autumn Leaves, that's fantastic, and that's where you should go. You should be able to build a solo on a tune like this. And there's a lot that you have to understand and know in order to build an effective chord melody solo. But that doesn't mean that chord melody solo is going to take the place of comping. That would be a big mistake. Comping is a whole different trip. So if you're learning to play a tune, and I mean really play a tune, you have to make some, sort of establish some ground rules for yourself. Are you going to, number one, are you going to play this tune with anyone else? Are you going to play it with a horn player, trumpet player? Are you going to play it with a violin player? Are you going to play it with another guitar player, right? And because if you are, your role at some point is going to be comping. That is what you're going to be required to do. And playing a chord melody does not take the place of learning how to comp through the tune. Now the same goes for soloing. You'll probably be expected to solo, and the chord melodies can really help inform where your solo is going to go. But what my point is that soloing is different from chord melody, and chord melody is different from comping. So if you're going to really dig in and learn a tune, you're going to have to learn how to comp the tune. You're going to have to learn, what the tune is about, like what key you're in, where it's going, where your scale forms are, and where where chord forms are on the fretboard. So you're needing to comp the tune. You're needing to learn how to solo, and you should build a chord melody. And analysis will help you in establishing each of those areas. So today, let's just take a quick look at comping, and I'll just maybe give you a few chords that'll work for you, a few ideas. I usually play often play the A minor seven like this. Your second finger on the bottom, because it's a really quick change, right? And then to change from this chord to the D7, you just sort of flip that two over. So this becomes a third finger over. Becomes a nice, easy change. And then I'm keeping my baby finger down, as you can see, because it's in common. It's a guide finger, right, to the G major 7. So there's a nice 2-5-1. You'll also notice that I'm stopping my pick at string 2 because I just there's a little line there. Common to the C major. Okay, so let's try it one more time. This G major 7 could be a major 6 as well, right? I can pivot around that baby finger. And then up to the C major 7. And then F sharp minor 7 flat 5. I'm pretty close from that C major 7, I'm pretty close to this F sharp minor 7 flat 5 here with the third in the bass. That's a really nice, I think a real nice option. Okay. And it gives me, I've got that same note underneath my baby finger. I've got the same note in this F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then the B7. And then the E minor. Now, if I'm doing a chord melody kind of thing, or thinking in shorter chords, I would just take that, because that note so clearly wants to go to that there, but that's not really much of a comping chord. So probably this. E minor 7 like that. B7. Let's take it from the beginning. D7, G major, G6. And then here. I think that works. I don't think I'd use an open position chord, because you don't get to stop the chords. When I say stop, you know, pressing down and lifting up, muting, so that you hear a nice clear rhythm. So B7, and then to the E minor. That's an E minor 7. Okay, now for some of you with big fingers, you might want to try. But no, yeah, that's hard for me anyway. Okay, this is a nice minor 7 right here. And then moving, let's say move on, like we're now in the second ending. Let's move up the fretboard, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. This is easy. Now B7 flat 9. This is a great change, and so you can take this F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and exactly the same shape of your fingers, and place it on the top 4 strings, and that's a B7. Here's my root, right? So this is just an implied root. Right? It's essentially a diminished 7th chord, but it's enharmonic with B7 flat 9. So minor 7 flat 5. I'm sure you're familiar with that chord. If you don't want to bar it, you can do it like that. And then you could take, if you I don't know if you want to go all the way up into outer space, A minor 7. Minor 7, fret 12. One finger moves to make that a D7 with the 5th in the lowest voice to the G major 7, and then we can go moving down the fretboard, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. We did this before, but this is cool too. this one. So we've got my flat 9 on the bottom there, and then E minor, working its way down to the B7 with a flat 9. Here's the B7. We could put the flat 9 here on the bottom, so it's that would be cool. We could probably do B flat 7, B7 flat 9. Either or, they're both diminished type chords. And then finally with the E minor, or this, I mean, the E minor as a 3-note chord at the end. At the end, I think it would be sort of nice. Right. Yes, that should give you an indication. Let's just quickly one more time. A minor 7, D7. You can go G major 6, C major 7. We have this third on the bass, and then the B7, and then that E minor, and it repeats. And then same. If you want to do that, or you want to do that, or go up there, and then this change. I'm not doing any, substitutions. Oh, that would be a nice one. Oops. A minor 7, D13, G major 7, or G major 7. And then F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and B7 with a flat 9. All the same chord. Diminished. Okay, so that should give you an idea of how to get through some 2/5s in Autumn Leaves, and I hope that maybe you learned a couple of new chord voicings that'll be helpful to you. I try to deliberately stay away from a lot of substitutions, but one that is really common is to approach a chord from a semitone above, specifically dominant 7th chords. But we won't deal with that right now. There are other colors that you can do and use as well. 6s, 13, or 13s, which is a great sound. Now, as far as comping is concerned, again, I'm not moving up to the higher strings very much. Although you could do that, but I'm trying to sort of keep the bottom end going, right? Because it just gives it more body, rather than playing. Right. That sounds a little for comping. It doesn't really cut it. You really. you want that kind of bottom end, something with a little bit of authority and oomph to make it happen. Okay, so I hope that helps you a little bit with some comping ideas. I mean, there's tons of them, but one of the most important things, and that is easy to forget, is your right hand, right? When you're comping, you wanna be able to use comping originally started out of the banjo in big bands, right? And the banjo was had a drum head on it, as we all know, and the whole idea with the band with that drum head was so that the comping by the banjo player would cut through the whole band. The same trip happens with gypsy jazz players, right? There are some players that are killer at comping, and the idea is to build rhythm, right? Never forget what you're doing in the right hand. It should sound. I mean, well, we don't want to play this tune that quick, but it should be nice and clean in that right hand, and there shouldn't be any errant strings ringing and that kind of thing. So you want that clean, solid comping style to develop. So be aware of what you're doing in the right hand. As a matter of fact, almost subconsciously, I take my pick and I roll it to the round side, because when I roll it to the round side, it doesn't bite as much as the other side. So it just helps to play rhythm, to comp. It's comping is a whole different trip than soloing and so on. So it's really got to do with what the voicings you're choosing, and keeping those voicings strong and supportive. That's the word I'm looking for. Keeping those voicings supportive, so that you could even play those voicings just as a single guitar player for instance, one other instrumentalist, right? The requirements very well may be different if you're playing with a bass player. You may want to stay away from some of those bottom notes, and try not to get in the bass player's way. But that's another story. For now, we're just looking at comping, and doing so with some tried and true chord voicings. All right, so that's a look at Autumn Leaves and how to comp through a tune like this. And I hope that you got a couple of ideas from this for your own comping styles. And if you like this, like it. That would be great. And subscribe. We'd love to have you back. If you've got any ideas or things that you'd like to hear or comments, please let us know. So thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you again soon.